Louder! Welcome back to Lights, Camera, Exploitation. This is the pod boss, TJ Bowser, and joining me as always is my doppelganger, kangabanger from down under, Mr. Brody Kane.
Howdy, howdy, mother lickers.
And of course, Mr. Slick Nick.
How y'all doing?
Today we have a doozy of an episode, but first, it's time for your slice of life. Brody, how goes it?
Yeah, not too bad at all, Mr. Bowser. I honestly can't even think what the fuck I did this week. Dare say it would have been fuck all. Nothing really stands out to me other than the fact that I worked all week. Oh, actually, no, I lie. I treated myself to a Vinegar Syndrome release. Bill Condon's Sister.
Yes.
And I'm fucking pretty stoked to get that motherfucker and watch that bad boy, because
we love Dead Kids
as well as TJ does. What's that?
We are huge fans of his other work, not Twilight. Dead Kids, Strange Behavior, that film, and of course, Strange Invaders. His earlier horror work is just so cool.
Absolutely, yeah. And to see him actually be a writer and then come out as, well, this is his first directorial debut, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where he flexes his creative muscles with this bad boy. So I'm very stoked. And I think TJ sold me on it when he said it's a Southern Gothic tale. So,
yes.
You know, me and my Gothic genres, I fucking love and I froth them. So, no, very, very interested to see how that film plays out. But
the
other
twist
than that,
is going to rock you, man.
Oh, it's got a twist.
It's got a twist, and then it hits hard. About halfway through, you're like, you start to figure out some stuff. And then at the end, you see Eric Stoltz act his ass off. And you're like, yeah!
Stoltzy. Yeah, fucking, well, I am looking for, you know me, I love a good fucking twist. Is just like this film, Oldboy. But yeah, other than that, fuck all in my neck of the woods. What about you, Slick Nick?
Not a ton. It started snowing again here, so we kind of got locked in for a little bit again. So I have just been mostly at home watching stuff. I watched this. It got me in the mood to watch more Korean films again. So I ended up rewatching Parasite. God, I love that movie. That movie's so good. And I think I'm probably going to end up rewatching Raid and the Raid 2 this weekend, which I believe they're Indonesian films, but they are some fantastic action movies as well. The first one is one of my favorite movies.
Foreign film sidebar while we do this. Have you watched the early 2000s J-horror stuff?
Like Ringu? Like the original Ring and stuff like that? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The late 90s, early 2000s Japanese stuff I really like as well.
That's when it gets into like Asian horror or anything like that. That's pretty much all of my knowledge. It's just that early 2000s J-horror stuff and maybe some more modern stuff, and that's only because of Shudder.
That makes sense. No, I get that. Yeah, I'd say I really like just the late 90s, early 2000s kind of East Asian movie. Action, horror, all that stuff.
Clearly, you picked this one.
Yeah, I would say this is the introduction. But yeah, I would say that's pretty much what I've been doing, so that's probably what I'm going to continue doing this weekend. What about you, TJ?
Well, I did a lot of podcasting stuff, and I dropped the audio for our first episode. So we're recording the third. I just dropped the first episode for Night of the Demon earlier this morning, and it's out to all the distribution platforms now. I'm excited for everyone to go listen to it and see how yins respond. Yeah, it's exciting. I put a lot of work into it, so enjoy. But I have Phenomena from Synapse/Arrow Films coming on Monday, and I got some new Switch stuff in today, and then I went and got Pokemon, I think it's Shining Pearl, which is a remake of a Gen 4 game from the Game Boy Advance, I think, and it's for the Nintendo Switch. I don't know. I'm really into Pokemon now since I got Pokemon Arceus, so I've been playing through those games again. It's cool. I feel like I'm 12 years old again. It's dope. Anyway, watched a bunch of movies this week and not going to bore you with them, but what I will do is talk about this week's film, and that is Nick's pick, and it is 2003's Oldboy.
Warum hast du mich eingesperrt? Du wirst dafür bezahlen, für jedes Jahr einzeln.
Director, Park Chan-wook, who also did Joint Security Area in 2000, Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance in 2002, which is the prequel film, correct?
Yes, it is a trilogy called the Vengeance Trilogy, and the next one is the sequel. Basically.
Lady Vengeance 2005, and also The Handmaiden in 2016. Writers, and I apologize for any mispronunciations now, Park Chan-wook, Jun Hyung Lim, and Jo Hyung Hwang, who did the screenplay, and those are adaptations of the manga created by Garen Toshiya and Nobuyuki Minagishi. Cinematographer Chung Hoon Chung, who also did Record in 2000, It in 2017, Edgar Wright's Last Night in Soho in 2021, and the upcoming Obi-Wan Kenobi TV series. That trailer made me cry like a little boy.
Still yet to see.
Man, I'm ready for that one. God, I love the cinematography in this. That's going to be so good.
Yes, sir. Music by Hyung Wook Jo, who also did Bloody Beach in 2000, New World in 2013, and A Taxi Driver in 2017. Art director Seong-Hee Ryu, who also did Memories of Murder in 2003, Thirst in 2009, and Crazy Alien in 2019. Producers Dong Jo Kim and Dong Ju Kim and Sid Lim. Makeup Jong Hee Song, who also did Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance in 2002, Coin Locker Girl in 2015, and Uchu Sentai Kaiju Ranger in 2018. That's the Power Rangers of Japan. Oh, it would be a good time to mention that I am hopping over to the Beetle Bros camp once again to record a Ninja Sentai Kaku Ranger special, and I am super excited.
It's going to be a fun time.
Yes,
we're going to have fun.
For sure. Budget, $3 million USD. Starring Choi Min-sik as Dae-Su Oh, who also was in Phelan in 2001, I Saw the Devil in 2010, and Lucy in 2014. Yuji Tai as Woo Jin Lee, who also starred in Ditto in 2000, Midnight FM in 2010, and The House That Jack Built in 2018. Kang Ha-jung as Mi-do, who starred in The Butterfly in 2001, Welcome to Dong McCall in 2005, and Lucid Dream in 2017. Kim Byung-uk as Mr. Han, who starred in I'm a Cyborg, But That's Okay in 2006, Kong's Family in 2013, and A Violent Prosecutor in 2016. Daihan Ji as No John Hwan, who starred in The Foul King in 2000, Open City in 2008, and The Accidental Detective in 2015. Dao Soo-ho as Park Chan-wook, who starred in The Blade of the Phantom Master in 2004, sounds like a Jallo, The Good, the Bad, the Weird in 2008, Detective K, Secret of the Living Dead in 2018. Xu Shen Lee as Hyo Hyang-ja, who starred in Charisma in 1996, Addicted in 2002, The Mafia, the Salesman, 2007. Last but not least, Jin Sin-hyun as Lee So-ha, who starred in Bus Stop in 2002, Voices in 2007, and The Girl Who Sees Smells in 2015. God, what cinema that is. Nick?
Abducted on a rainy night in 1988, the obnoxious drunk Oh Dae-Su, much to his surprise, wakes up locked in a windowless and dilapidated hotel room for an unknown reason. There, his invisible and pitiless captors will feed him, clothe him, and sedate him to avert a desperate suicide, and as his only companion and a window to the world is the TV in his stark cell, the only thing that helps Oh Dae-Su keep going is his journal. Then, unexpectedly, after 15 years in captivity, the perplexed prisoner is deliberately released, encouraged to track down his tormentor to finally get his retribution. However, who would hate Oh Dae-Su so much he would deny him a quick and clean death?
Awards! It won a cuppa, and that includes the Cannes Film Festival Award, the Palme d'Or nominee, Cannes Film Festival Grand Prix, winner, chicken dinner, Awesome Film Critics Association Best Foreign Film, winner, chicken dinner, Korean Film Awards, Best Film, winner, chicken dinner, Korean Film Awards, Best Director, winner, chicken dinner, Korean Film Awards, Best Cinematographer, nominee, Saturn Awards, Best Action Adventure Film, nominee. Boys, let's get physical! And we have a release from Tartan Video that was dropped November 6, 2007 and is rated R. It has a resolution of 1080p and an aspect ratio of 235:1. And it features the audio of Korean DTS HD Master Audio 7.1 for your Atmos motherfuckers. And of course, English for the Dolby Digital 5.1. Subtitles, of course. And a director commentary, director and cast commentary, director and cinematographer commentary. That is 3 commentaries for the price of 1. Original trailer, deleted scenes, and optional commentary. Behind the scenes documentary. We got 5 of them, guys. Count them, 5 of them. Making the film, the cast members, production design, the music score, CGI documentary, and the flashback. Cast and crew interviews in a featurette. Le Grand Prix at Cannes. Boys, take it away.
Park Chan-wook in a conversation with the audience about Oldboy. When asked in an interview if he's violent like his films, director Park Chan-wook states, "I haven't had any experiences like that. I'm just the opposite, except in my childhood. I fought physically only once. I suppressed my anger and hatred all my life. Maybe that's why I want to show these things in film. It's exhilarating, you know?"
During the scene in the sushi bar in which Oh Dae-Su orders something alive, 4 octopods were eaten by the actor. Octopods or octopus?
It's what it said. It literally said octopods. I guess that is the plural.
Yep. Okay, cool. We'll go with that.
That's not a TV show from the 90s. Octopods! Octopods! Okay.
While the practice of eating live octopus is a commonplace in South Korea, this caused some controversy upon the film's release. Actor Choi Min-sik is actually a practicing Buddhist, which required him to pray after eating each octopus. Once the film was released and won the Grand Prix at the Cannes Film Festival, director Park Chan-wook thanked the octopods alongside the cast and crew.
Fucking A. That scene was pretty cool, though.
Yeah, I would say, I think in one of the interviews, they asked him if he felt bad for the actor, and he said, no, I felt bad for the octopus.
And that's fair. That is fair.
Yeah. So Chan-wook goes on to talk about when the film's visual style was defined. Before we do the storyboard, the visual style is decided. The writing of the script is based upon this style. The instructions change according to the visual style. The instructions were very short for Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance. The descriptions were not detailed. They were short sentences. The instructions for Oldboy were longer. The descriptions were relatively detailed. The visual style of the finished film is decided before writing the script, and that affects the writing style.
We also have Chan-wook talking about why there are so many images of hands throughout the film. It's a weird fucking question, but anyway. At the dam, Woo Jin releases Sohan's hand. That's the origin of all the hand images. We could have saved his sister, but he released her hand. That was the beginning of the tragedy, and that's why I used hand images.
Chan-wook then elaborates about a psychologist that said Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance was a flop because it was too real for the audience. I wanted to make something that felt too real. I said from the start that I wanted the film to be felt physically, not just emotionally. I wanted the audience to be tired when they finished the film. I wanted their bodies to be tired. I thought people would love that. I like that kind of experience. I don't know how people can find any fun in watching mindless films. If you want a peaceful rest, have a bath. Why go to the cinema? I wanted a tiring film. I suppose it was a success in that sense.
There's a movie where it's a Asian film of some kind, and it has a dude fall into a pool, and then a flood happens and an alligator crawls in with him. And then the pool drains and he's stuck in this massive like Olympic swimming pool with this alligator and has to escape. It's actually a really good film.
I would watch that.
The whole entire film, it's just he's stuck in a pool with an alligator.
And is escaping, yeah. It's crazy. It works so well.
Okay.
It's an interesting concept.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd watch that. I'd absolutely watch that.
It's like this film. I could have just watched the whole entire film of him being in this fucking room.
It's just a struggle. Yeah.
Yeah.
It just, scenes in this reminded me of that, because like him breaking through the wall, there's a scene where he like tries to go through the drain and he like sticks his head in the drain.
We got like the light coming in from and everything. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
See that? You see him crawl out the other side and it's just Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah.
Crawled through a river of shit.
So where are we?
So in an interview with actor Choi Min-sik, he is asked if the incest theme worried him at all. He goes on to state, of course it did. I am a Korean living in South Korean society. In this cultural environment, I was expecting to hear Korean people's disgusted responses. If we censor ourselves, discourage our creative desire, and restrict ourselves, there's no growth. The director and the actors' creative workers should not think of the consequences. I'm talking about principles. It is fate. You can't deny it. The creator always wants to make what they want. The producers and the distributors limit the desire. They have to think about the audience.
So, other than simply a direct adaptation of the Oldboy manga, the film also draws inspiration from several classical stories, which are also hinted at throughout the movies, some more obvious than others. Oldboy pulls from The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas in its revenge story, which is directly stated when Dae-Su and Mido speak in the chat room, and he gets called the Count of Monte Cristo. In line with the movie's main themes, Oh Dae-Su's name is actually a reference to the Greek tragic hero of Oedipus. So Dae-Su Oh, when you say it in the Korean style, is Oh Dae-Su. So
that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So we have Choi Min-sik discussing his character's strange way of talking. Physical or language skills improve when you use them constantly. If you don't use them, they deteriorate. Speech is the same. People who speak a lot speak eloquently. There are people who don't talk too much, people who don't like talking. These people talk slowly. The director thought about this and he put it in the script. I said in the script that I want to eat a living thing, and that seemed realistic to me. I had to say it with my lips, with my voice, and using my feelings. I had to express it like a person who hadn't talked for 15 years. It was vague, but I tried many things.
Fucking A, man. Fucking A.
He put a lot into it. So, speaking of putting a lot into it, the arguably most famous scene of the film, the long take corridor fight, took over 3 days to perfect, not shoot, just to get it right, with 17 different takes before they finally resulted in the one continuous take as it is seen in the movie. No CGI or editing of any kind was actually used for the fight itself. The only thing generated at all in that entire fight is the knife being in Oh Dae-Su's back. Other than that, there is no editing. It is just panned, and it is one long continuous take.
That's cool. Yeah, that is one of the best shots in cinema ever.
Oh my god, I love that scene so much. We can't get ahead of ourselves, though.
We'll talk about it later.
Choi Min-sik talks about the writing scenes. The assistant director told me that I had to write Oh Dae-Su's notes myself. That was hard work. The handwriting should be the same. It's not an easy task. I didn't write anything. I wrote some pages, then photocopied them. Of course, I had to write the pages that were shown directly on the screen, but when you turn the pages, you must see the writing on the pages beneath. I didn't have to write those pages. They were photocopied.
What the fuck?
Random.
That reminds me of Seven, and they had to do all of John Doe's stuff by hand.
Resurrection, you mean?
No. It's Seven.
Nah, Nick doesn't get it.
Okay.
TJ's trying to get a fucking bite out of me. I'm not playing
Okay,
that game.
all right. When he started laughing before I could react, I was like, "Oh, he's fucking with Brody for something." I got wait.
The episode we just dropped, I referenced that as well.
Fun. Speed 2. Choi Min-sik talks about his character Oh Dae-Su. Oh Dae-Su's character is not just from the script. I thought of things that were not in the script. Oh Dae-Su's character didn't begin to form when the script was finished. I started to think of Oh Dae-Su when I read the original comic book. I was naturally in character, so I could behave like Oh Dae-Su, even if the description was not in the script. Singing the school song and behaving like a dog in the last scene, those things are good examples. Words that weren't in the script came out of my mouth without thinking. I was Oh Dae-Su when we were making the film. I don't remember what I said in that scene. I went to the extreme. I did it until people said, "Please stop now." I was just going with the flow. Maybe it came from my stage experience. It was like surfing. I was riding the wave. I like that style of acting. It's hard, but I like scenes that are long takes.
I do too.
Mm-hmm.
So does David Lynch.
Fucking A, man. It drives me nuts. Who gives a fucking shit how long a scene is?
Indeed.
In addition to the penthouse groveling being mainly improvised by Choi Min-sik, he also heavily improvised and ad-libbed Oh Dae-Su's drunken tirade in the police station at the beginning of the film, which was actually the last scene the director had scheduled to film. Min-sik had even improvised playing with the toy wings Dae-Su had bought for his daughter and had intended for the camera crew to follow his legs as he was attempting to do a Michael Jackson-esque moonwalk. Finally, a blooper was kept in the added comedic and emotional value after Min-sik hit his head in the scene, which he catches Me-do reading his journals.
Just everything they did, they're like, put it in the movie. It's in the movie now.
That shit was pretty funny.
Oh, it's good.
Finish us!
Alrighty. So, the vast majority of the film was shot and completed locally in South Korea, of course, predominantly within the cities of Seoul and Busan. However, the final snowy scenes of the film in which Oh Dae-Su meets the hypnotist were actually shot near Mount Lyford in New Zealand. Director Park Chan-wook was taken with the scenery and sound so much that he captured the audio recording of the wind that is heard after the credits have finished rolling, as he said, for the local Korean audience to hear.
Any Kiwi things to say, Brody?
Yeah, I was going to say it's actually fucking bit of overkill to actually fly all the way to New Zealand just to film those scenes, but
Peter
whatever
Jackson
floats your
stares
boat.
at you.
When I was doing the research as well, people have like found the exact coordinates that they're standing at and everything, and like have them in the just have that out there. Like and I guess one other, the phone number, whenever he gets the information for what happened to his daughter while he was gone, and he finds out that she got adopted and sent to Stockholm, and it's got the phone number on there. Apparently people, because of course they did this, started calling that phone number and found out that at least for a while, it would just give a message saying that it was requested to be turned off and that it would refer you to a different number. And when you called that, it was the Korean embassy in Stockholm.
Oh! Jumping Jehoshaphat.
Uh-huh.
Well, boys, let's talk about it! Favorite performance of the film? Nicholas, take it away.
Is it possible to say anything else other than Choi Min-sik? I mean, the character of Oh Dae-Su, in order to, like, all the work that he did putting into that to, make himself be able to talk like someone who hasn't spoken a word to someone in 15 years like that, and then just gets thrown back out into society a decade and a half later. It's insanely good. Like, especially considering the improvisational parts.
Yeah.
Like all the ad-libbing and everything that he was just so in character. He Daniel Day-Lewis'd it. Like, he really did. I will say though, I really do like Yoo Ji-tae as Woo Jin Lee. He plays a really, really good mysterious villain, I think, that just kind of keeps you guessing. Like, why is he doing this for all the rest of this time? One moment.
He's dealing with his kitty cat right now.
Okay, go fuck with that in the living room. All right. I saw you react to the doing that I just heard, and I was like, what is going on? Oh, okay, he's flipping shit, attacking a toy underneath. Sorry about that. But yeah, no, I would have to say Choi Min-sik is probably my favorite, and then Yoo Ji-tae, like special mention to him, because I love his villain. It just keeps you guessing. Because, like, even when you find out he's the guy, you still have half a movie of mystery left, and he keeps it going.
There's definitely some shades of Bateman in him.
A little bit. Like, probably a bit more like the book.
Like, it's just like the showering, and then, like, the naked workouts and stuff.
Oh, yeah, he learned how to do yoga for this movie, I also
It's just stuff like that. It was just, Bateman-esque. What year did American Psycho come out?
2000?
Ah, okay.
So 3 years before this?
Brody, performance. Home skillet.
I would have to agree with Nick, with Choi Min-sik as Dae-Su. I mean, how could you not fucking pick him? His portrayal of this broken man just wanting to seek vengeance is just so fucking believable. I find, and watching him go down that downward spiral, I mean, of being locked up in a room for 15 years is just fucking crazy. He definitely catches the realism of that scene. Even the director and what he was able to bring to the table for that actor, I find. What I really enjoy about his character is able to see, like, not only his mental health deteriorate, but his appearance over the course of those 15 years, and like how I don't know, it's just something. It's a depressing journey, and to see that, to me, is fucking filmmaking. And like I just said earlier, I would have loved to have seen a whole entire film of him just being in this room for 15 years, because it's really interesting to see how like his performance evolve as his character's personality descends, if you know what I mean. There's that balance there. And I will just give a huge shout out to his performance at the end when he's on his knees begging and then cuts his fucking tongue off. That scene just really hammers it home for me.
Did you notice that that's foreshadowed earlier in the film?
No, I did not.
So when Mito's hanging and that group comes in, Mr. Park, and he's in there and he says, I'll cut your hand off for touching her breast. And he says, you cut my hand off. He said, what about my tongue? And then he walks out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fuck. I didn't even pick up on that.
Yeah. And that foreshadows the ending of the film.
Good call.
There's a lot of, there's like a bigger build up to that. Just overall, he talks too much, you know?
You guys, I have to agree with, what is it? Min Sik. He's awesome. The blonde-haired evil sidekick,
Mr. Han.
Isn't there one in Rush Hour? Like a guy that looks like a blonde-haired evil sidekick? Well, a guy looks just like him.
I think so.
Looks just like him. He is just ruthless.
And death.
Yeah.
When he gets those fucking scissors to the ear, fuck.
Yeah.
He doesn't. He still goes after that. He's still going.
Yeah, like, until his boss puts a cap in the back of his head for not listening to him, too. Mr. Han.
Oh, fuck.
Mr. Han. Fine. God, and it just kills him.
I don't know. My brain immediately went to Rush Hour when I thought of that guy. I don't know. Anyway, favorite set piece. We're all going to say that fucking penthouse because it was awesome. No, Brody's going to say different. Brody, start us off then.
I think I know what Brody's going to say.
Well, Nick, what do you think I'm going to go with, mate?
You're going to go with that hotel room, aren't you?
Yes,
fuck you, Dan. Okay. Okay, that's pretty good too.
Like, I am not going to disagree about the penthouse. The penthouse is fucking amazing. I'd give my left nut to live in that penthouse. But, I mean, I just wanted to go with the room. And like I said previous, I would have loved to have seen a whole fucking movie of this character be in that room. There is, I don't know, it had me looking throughout each scene in every corner of the room thinking, what is the director, like, the layout, what's he brought to the table of the layout to give this guy, this character, to be in this room for 15 years? Like, what the fuck?
This kind of matches with our next one, but just to kind of merge with what you're talking about with the penthouse there real quick, how he kind of uses almost like a fisheye lens and then has like a static shot. So as, what's his name? What is it? Or the bad guy?
The bad guy is Woo Jin Lee.
Woo Jin Lee is walking. There's definitely some depth in that shot because like he walks and he gets real close to the camera and then he just steps away and then he's really far. Like there's some sort of depth play going on there. And I think that just helps with that setting.
I'm telling you, man, the cinematography in this movie is so fucking good.
You know what I'm talking about? That shot where it starts where he's like standing and he's like really close to the camera and then he walks away and then he's all of a sudden really far away. Yeah,
and it's good to see that the director and the cinematographer like really collaborated together with the interior shots of this fucking one room, like to see what they were able to conjure up and display, and exactly like you said, the different display of lenses and mid close-up shots to whatever it was. It's standard filmmaking, but at the same time it looks fucking amazing. I know there's something about filming someone in a tight space like this for me and watching them just see go fucking insane. I mean, I'll also say I'll give a shout out to the lighting of the room. It was like lit in this really morbid and depressing feel, so that was just able to add that extra character about it. I don't know. It's definitely a moody piece for me. What about you, Slick Nick?
So, I am probably, at least as far as set piece, I'm going to have to agree. I think more with TJ. I really, really that penthouse apartment. That is a Bond villain's apartment. Like, that is Patrick Bateman mixed with no, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die level. It is just, the set dressing is amazing. The shots throughout it are so good. It really does lend off that Bateman-esque feeling that you mentioned earlier, TJ. It really does lend to it quite well. Also, I'm going to have to agree, special mention to that hotel room. I do have to agree. They did, because it does take up so much of the opening of the film. Like, it's got to be good. It has to be. Because you're going to be staring at it for so long in the movie. But one little standout that I really liked actually was Ju-hwan's internet cafe.
Yeah, that's such an early 2000s thing.
That gringy, dark 2000s internet cafe that he's running, and it really lends itself to when we say goodbye to Ju-hwan. Later on in the film, the darkness, the sort of oppressing like nature of it helps that scene stand out so much more in a movie of, I think, a lot of really good standout scenes. I think those are my main three. The like sushi restaurant looks like a sushi restaurant because if I recall correctly, they just filmed it as a regular sushi restaurant, and they were gonna rename it. I think they originally planned to put a new name over the front of it, and they were gonna call it Akira, but it was supposed to be not a nod to the movie, but Akira Toriyama, I think.
Okay.
But I think TJ's I guess you already said yours, right?
I touched on when Brody talked about the that one.
Get you in depth in there.
Yeah. Yeah, so I kind of touched on it a little bit when Brody talked about the penthouse stuff and I mentioned that one shot. But yeah, this film has crazy depth, especially within the sets, like Brody mentioned. The actors are really allowed to play within these sets. And when you look at the contrast of how the film opens in this small, really claustrophobic type room, and then it finishes off in this really big and open type room, it's kind of that contrast to go just to show the journey of these characters and also to show how different that our good guy and our bad guy are. It's nuts. I love the penthouse the same way Nick and Brody do. Like Nick said, it's like a Bond villain, but I would put Piranha in those water features, and I'd probably use all tape recorders instead of cameras.
Reels.
But that's just that's my sort of stuff. No, I'd keep the reel to reels, man. That's too cool. I love all of that setting and stuff. I love how creepy that jail is, where the long shot happens, and he fights all those people. Jail, that hallway scene is just so fucked. Like you don't want to be anywhere near it.
It's grimy. It almost reminds you of like Hostel on the outside of the room.
And I love that shot. Transitioning into favorite scene and shot, guys. I love that shot also in that same set where he walks in behind him and then they do the lines to his head and then he's slowly inching his knife with his pinky.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
He's holding just sitting there looking at him, holding the hammer up, about to bring it down.
So as my favorite shot, the aforementioned weird fisheye in the penthouse, the dots go into the head. That shot's pretty cool. And I think we'll all be in the agreement of the long shot and the same set that I mentioned previously. Favorite scene? I'd have to say that whole final bit was really cool. Just the set piece tied with the sheer emotion of the scene just really all came together into really cinema. So, Brody?
Yeah, look, I'm going to say the hallway fight scene. To me, it's one of the best coordinated fights I've ever fucking seen in film. And it's like it's just like one long take for roughly 4 fucking minutes. I mean, it's just that dolly shot from left to right. It's paced extremely well with the character. Just seeing Dae-Su just, annihilating these men with hand-to-hand combat and a fucking hammer. At first, I was like, this isn't going to be believable whatsoever, your typical one-man army action film. But to an extent, they actually make it look so fucking grounded. Like, he gets hit, he has to stop for a fucking breather because he's so fucked. And then, and then he's straight back into it, and it's just, oh my God, it's just so fucking good. It's just those little attention to details that make the film for me look so fucking good. But I couldn't help it when I was watching it, as he's going through these levels, it felt like the Nintendo Donkey Kong, as he's going through the building levels.
He's going back and forth and dodging the barrels.
Yeah, dodging the barrels. It felt like that.
Yeah,
I was
like, back and forth in that space. Yeah.
Yeah. But and then finally that elevator scene, like straight after it, when all the bodies fall out, I was like, that's just fucking awesome.
I do like the quick cuts that he produces in this, that creates where it kind of is like, instead of a cutaway, it's a quick cut to just a fast forward in time, just ever so smidge, so you don't have to see it full on. I like him shooting himself as a quick cut, and like the whole sequence of him in the police station at the beginning is all quick cuts of him doing stupid shit.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Also Mr. Han chucking him through all of the display cases. Every time he comes at him, and it's him getting launched through glass.
Nick,
but okay. So for overall scene, I'm gonna have to agree with Brody on the corridor scene. That's one of my favorite scenes in movie history, period. Of course, I am a sucker for long takes, but like, it's a long take in an action film where it doesn't, like Brody said, it feels real. Even though he's taking on this many people, like, just the way that it's staged and blocked, I can see why it took him 3 days to perfect it, because he is doing the whole, like, trying to just keep it as one-on-ones. He's pushing people off, so he's not fighting 6 at a time at the same time, while of course he's still getting swarmed inevitably. But like, I just love how it gets to the point where they're all lying on the ground. Everybody's tired. He's got the shit kicked out of him. They all have the shit kicked out of them. Everyone's like flailing. Like some of them are trying to scooch back away off the floor while he's still waving the hammer around while he's trying to back up and all of that. So like it just makes it feel that much more believable. And then my favorite shot, I think, is probably the one that they reused between the guy on the rooftop when he first gets released about to kill himself and he like grabs him, and it's the exact same shot as Woo Jin trying to save his sister. So like they paralleled that.
So good.
It's an amazing shot, and just the only thing I think that overshadows it is the shot immediately following the corridor. Not the bodies falling out of the elevator, but the him standing there, the over the shoulder like wide angle lens shot of him smiling, kind of laughing to himself before it turns around to show that the elevator opened up to a whole bunch of more dudes standing there waiting. But like that over the shoulder shot of all the people writhing in that big mass behind him in the corridor is so satisfying as just the cap to that corridor fight. I think it's the perfect way that shot could have ended and moved on.
Okay, favorite effect and or death, boys. Brody?
Oh, well, do you know what? There wasn't really too many deaths in this film. And I'm going to have to go with the random man and the dog that kills himself, like he jumps off the roof. It definitely caught me off guard. I was like, I couldn't help but laugh, even though I fucking hate dog deaths in movies.
Yeah.
This was kind of fucking funny to an extent.
Well, because
he has
my
no
morbid
reaction.
sense of humor. Yeah, I think it's just mainly my morbid sense of humor. But
That's fair.
Also, I think I read somewhere that, now I don't know if this is true or not, and I try to look it up. A lot of people say it is, and some obviously don't know. But this scene where the man like talks to the lead actor on the roof. Apparently, that scene was meant to go for a little bit longer, and it was supposedly he was meant to say that he had fucked the dog, and now that everyone knows, he wants to kill himself. But I think that the director had to cut it.
So it was supposed to be another parallel to the incest rumor spreading kind of.
Yes, it was meant to be like that. This guy is fucked up. I don't know if you want to cut this or not, TJ.
I didn't see that anywhere, but
I did not see that.
I can imagine.
But in Brody's headcanon, there's a cut of this movie where that guy fucks that dog. Okay, so
I won't lie. Yes, there'd be something deep down inside my fucking head. But yeah, it kind of makes you wonder why he wants to kill himself, because they obviously don't really elaborate on it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, a lot of people were saying the director he wrote that in and then had to fucking cut it.
Oh, so whatever. So he did actually stay for a story.
Yeah, I do love. Now my story gets up and immediately leaves.
Yeah.
So there's the cut where he sits down. He goes, "Okay, so I fuck dogs," and then he gets up.
Well, he doesn't actually say it like that. Apparently,
okay.
Supposedly, he sort of states it in a way that at least the audience know that he did do that.
Like the roundabout.
But why the fuck does he have to kill himself with the fucking dog? Like, if you're going to kill yourself, just kill yourself. Why do you got to do it with the dog?
Then the dog's left alone.
Yeah, but that's just selfish.
That's fair. Okay, my favorite effect.
Damn.
I love the blue ant coming out of the skin and then him getting swarmed. That is so cool. That is such an early 2000s thing. Mm-hmm. I loved it. It was so
It's
gnarly.
an Aphex Twin video. Yeah.
Fucking A. But yeah, like, really not a lot of deaths. There's just a lot of carnage and a lot of damage done to our main guy here, Dae-Su. So yeah, my effect, I love the ants. I think that's pretty rad. Death, our main guy killing himself, pretty out of nowhere, pretty nuts. But hey, he had nothing to live for if he can't fuck with Dae-Su. What else is left? You know?
Yeah. And it's a visceral, with that quick cut, it really makes that like impact of him smacking into the side of the elevator.
He uses
that much stronger.
that way of cutting things the same way that Edgar Wright uses it for comedic effect.
Yeah, like it's
you know what I'm talking about? Because he does that whenever he's like in Hot Fuzz when he's going through the fridge and shit.
The train. Oh, I was about to say getting on the train and everything.
Yeah,
and
that
just,
also,
the cuts to showing him getting out to the rural, and he's losing cell service. A quick cut. Oh yeah, it's a very interesting style. I think.
But then again, you can see why Edgar Wright would have picked the same cinematographer for Last Night in Soho if he likes that stuff. So anyway, just all coming coming full circle. Boys, anything else we want to expand on? Favorite effect or death?
I didn't give mine.
Nick his.
So my favorite effect is one ant, but it's not the many ants. It is the big ant that Mito sees in her hallucination. It's so creepy. It's like so well done. Like,
hey, how you doing?
I think that is one of the other from the other side of the train car. Like, it really plays into that,
them,
because I guess it is the loneliness kind of thing. It looks like them. It's just it's all just a big Aphex Twin video, but I like it. I really like it. I think for death though, the most brutal one to me was Ju Hwan's.
Yeah,
was him snapping the CD-ROM in half out of the disc tray and then walking over and just absolutely eviscerating his throat with it. You don't even really see it because of how dark it is in that internet cafe, but that just like the tight framing of it and the complete almost lack of sound except for just
is so bait at times because the subtlety of him ejecting the CD, putting it in his hands, smashing it into pieces, closing it, walking over, and just grabbing him and just
destroying him
and then walking away. That's such a Bateman thing,
It is. It's like when Bateman kills the homeless guy.
I've seen something like that in real life once, and it was nuts. Boys, thoughts on story?
This shit is hands down one of the craziest fucking stories I'd ever seen in a movie, especially the first time that I ever saw it. I think the only other one that ever hit me this hard was Chinatown. Think about it. Think about how close this actually is to Chinatown.
Serbian film.
Dad's favorite movie.
Ugh. I can't even watch that fucking piece of shit. I cannot fucking no.
I will admit I have seen it, but only for the fact that it's one of them films that you don't want to see, but you've got to see because cunts are talking about it. And yes, I had to pause it 3 times when I was watching it because it was just so fucked up. But yeah, I have seen it. I won't go rewatch it.
Yeah, no. I walked in once to my dad was watching some shit on TV in the living room. I came out. He was like, a Serbian film? I'm like, Dad, turn it off. He was like, really? I'm like, turn it off. Do not watch this fucking movie.
If that was my old man, I'd be like, yeah, enjoy. Watch that shit.
Damn. No, not mine. Not mine. I mean, I couldn't finish that. This one, I remember the first time watching this, getting to the twist and then to the end, I just remember going, what the fuck? What the fuck? And then, it's getting worse. How does it keep getting worse? I don't understand until actually getting to the ending. And I genuinely think the only other movie that really, really did that to me with just how the story played out is Chinatown. They hit a lot of the same beats. They really do. And I think this and Chinatown were the first 2 movies I ever watched that I was like, the bad guy gets away with it. He wins. There's no happy ending. And sometimes that's just realistic. Sometimes the bad guy gets away.
Yeah. This film it touches on some harder subjects and definitely goes to some darker places. But, like the lead said when he was interviewed about it, without doing or creating stories that go to those places, you really can't grow as a creative, and society can't really learn from these lessons and from these stories. I think, it hits hard, but it's all told in a proper way and in a way that's really intense and it's impactful. And I think that by the time the film's over, it leaves a residue on you. I mean, I feel like I had to shower. It was gross, but that means the film worked. It means it did what it was set out to do, and that means it was supposed to affect it. It did that. This is my first watch, and it was cool. There was suspense, there was cringe, and there's everything you want in one of these more extreme, what do you call this?
I mean, it's a revenge porn movie, basically.
Yeah, revenge porn movie, essentially.
Yeah.
Did you say it's a bit of a noir film to an extent as well?
If it was darker, I would, but I think that it gets brighter as the film goes on. If there was, I get it because of the sense of mystery, so you could definitely say that it's noir. It's just the way the story unravels, I'd say, is less, it's weird, because
it doesn't fit one genre neatly.
It's the way that it plays with, the way it plays with imagery and hypnosis and stuff is almost more Lynchian than it is noirish, if that makes sense.
I could see that.
But I could definitely see it with the mystery aspect and how it plays on with some of the darker and touches on some of the darker aspects of stuff. It's almost dark in the same way that Nightmare Alley is.
Ooh, Mr. Del Toro. One yet I have to watch.
Fucking A. Yeah, anything else you want to say on thoughts on story, Brody?
Yeah, I will just say that from a storytelling perspective, it's it's a masterclass in story fucking telling. I will say that. The script itself, the twist works extremely fucking well. It's so brutal, it's shocking, it delivers. Fuck me, like that's how you deliver a twist. It's just the icing on the cake, really, for this film. A roller coaster ride of emotions, and it, like the director said, it just leaves you exhausted by the end of the film. Look, flashback scenes in films with me, they sometimes work, obviously, and they don't. But the flashback scenes in this and how it converts throughout the story, definitely, you know, it has a place in this script. The twist doesn't really rely on it, but you know, it's great to see these flashback scenes, and it's just a nice touch, obviously, to see. More importantly, it works. It's just such a grim fucking story, and it's something different in its own little weird and unique way. I love it. Overall, I love it. It's dark. I love dark films, like in its tones and themes, all that shit. Yeah, I can't highly praise this film enough. If you haven't seen it, go fucking suss it.
Yeah, so let that go into our final topic, and that is impact and takeaways. Now, there's a lot of symbolism in this film, and as Brody said, it is a masterclass in filmmaking. I believe Brody's first time watching this was actually while he was at film school. There's a lot of stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
Yes, you are correct. Yes.
There's a lot of stuff in this film where you can point out, and it's just be like, this is a prime example of this kind of shot, or this is the prime example of when you use this type of lens. And I think that this film is good for that. And it's definitely a tool to use for up-and-coming filmmakers to really learn how to edit and how to piece together a film. Now, we talk about those quick edits and those weird symbolism stuff. I think that's something that's not used enough in modern film. And I think that you kind of lose the heart of it all when you don't have that much of... I just feel like a lot of work went into this, and you can tell through the story and through the script, because there's so many parts that intertwine and weave together, that whenever I watch modern cinema, it's not as challenging or as engaging as this is, if that makes sense. That's kind of all I want to say, Brody.
No, it's understandable.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And like you were saying about those meanings and undertones of the film, when you really break that down, if they weren't there in the film, this film would not really make sense, because it's what helps push and drive.
It'd be violence for nothing.
Forward.
Yeah,
exactly.
Similar to what the point of like You Were Never Really Here was kind of trying to make.
Kind of like what other films in this genre are known for, is the pointless violence and stuff. And I think that that's what makes this so effective, is the fact that it gives you a reason.
Exactly.
And it's not told straightforward in the traditional sense. It's told through flashback symbolism and various, let's say, intense
imagery. Just overall. Just like it would not be the same, and I think it would be a lesser experience without it.
Fucking A.
I just like the fact that it's this character-driven fucking story with no boundaries.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It showcases Korean filmmaking and the fucking talent that they have, and it really inspires me to watch more Korean films. Like, I just really want to find that underappreciated Korean film that's not mainstream, you know, and just enjoy it as much as I did this film.
Of all the regions that I watch, I mostly watch European stuff. I don't really venture too far into this. And like Brody said, maybe this is a good sign that maybe we should start dipping our toes a little bit more into these Asian films and the J-horror stuff. But
they make good movies, man.
I watched The Host before. Is that a Korean film?
The one with the giant tadpole creature?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it is.
I love that movie, and that's probably the only other Korean film that I watched, which we probably should do in a future episode. That's super fun to watch because it actually has comedy in it. And
but I mean, you can definitely see, I think, a few points of impact. Like we mentioned, Edgar Wright now is, working at least in some capacity with the cinematographer, in the quick cuts and everything. It's definitely drawn off of that. I do like the use of the symbolism, the imagery with like the ant representing the loneliness and stuff. The only time I can really think of like a Western movie doing that sort of thing is the end of Enemy. Spoiler alert to anyone who hasn't seen that. Jake Gyllenhaal walking out of a back in that he just left his wife in to come in to find a gigantic tarantula now taking up the room.
That scene fucking scared the shit out of me.
Dude, me too. I was like, oh, no. When did this movie turn into that?
He'd been fucking a Spider Woman this whole goddamn time.
I like the sigh, the resigned sigh he gives at it too, that just caps off, that just ends the movie as well. But like, I can just see bits and pieces of things that just that remind me of Oldboy or bring me back to it, like in movies that have come out since. But like, it definitely has an impact. Otherwise, I don't think, they wouldn't have made Brody watch it in film school.
Or did a shitty American remake.
Yes, with Josh Brolin and
Thanos.
Not good. Yeah, not good. Sorry.
I will just mention this, and I forgot to fucking mention it earlier when TJ read out all the Cannes awards and nominees. The film won the Grand Prix at the 2004 Cannes Film Festival and was highly praised from the president of the jury at that time. It was director Quentin Tarantino.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking A.
He loves Oldboy.
So I want to get the feel. Oh, sorry. No.
I was just going to go under the rating, but
no, that's all right. I was just going to say, do you think that, mate, because how there's a lot of imagery of hands and all that shit in this, like that's a bit of a throwback to like Tarantino's feet thing?
Ooh.
Holy fucking Hail Mary. Oh,
Quentin was like, I like the body parts you put it in.
So this week's rating is Hammer Swinging Incestual Fathers on a Revenge Plot out of 5. Brody, take it away.
4.6.
4.6, Slick Nick.
4.5.
I'm going to give it a 3.5. And that is an LCE score of 4.2 Hammer Swinging Incestual Fathers with a Revenge Plot out of 5 for this episode. And a preview for next episode, we have Keoma.
We're heading out west again.
Is that
1976? Yeah. Yep.
And a preview for next episode, 1976's Keoma. We're heading out west again, Nick.
Yeah, we are.
Franco Nero and all. Once again.
Indeed.
I'd go gay for that man. He is stunning. I can't wait to talk about that film and some of the more feisty scenes in that. It goes some pretty.
Saw that
little hairy.
Saw that picture.
You've talked it up.
Yeah, you saw that picture earlier where he. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, I won't ruin it. I won't ruin it until next episode, and I will see you guys on the next episode. I hope you enjoyed the first 3 of the season. This is the Pod Boss, TJ Bowser. See you in the next one. Bye bye.
This is your doppelganger Kanga Bang all the way from down under saying, I'll catch you bitches next week.
Slick Nick saying thanks for our journey out east. Hope to do it again, and we'll see you all next week.
Hit the music,
bitch.
Kim Byung-ok?
Kim Byung-ok, I think.
Gotta get it out.
Kim Byung, okay.